30 minutes driving time east of Cincinnati is this quiet, peaceful scene on Harsha Lake in East Fork State Park. For one day each summer, this lake comes alive with a major collegiate athletic championship. John Paris reports.
One heck of a boat race. All right, we do have the red flag. It's down. It looks like an official start. We'll see if it maintains itself. In lane 1, Temple University. In lane 2, it will be UCLA. In lane 3, Brown University. They all appear to be getting off to a good start. Harvard is in lane 4, and defending champion University of Wisconsin in lane 5. We see an awful lot of power here. I can hear the grunting and groaning, and we're a couple hundred meters away, Buzz. All the crews are still sprinting. They're off. They're going as high as 45 to 43. I mean, they're really, really going after it right now. Still, they're just starting. Some crews are settling now, getting down into their basic racing cadence. But, John, right now, they're all even. Within a deck length, this is an exciting race. It really is. 5 crafts, all within a deck length. From our vantage point, anybody can win this race, and it's going to appear, I don't think there'll be a boat length difference throughout the whole 2,000 meters.
You have just seen the start of the Varsity 8 National Championship race of the 1987 Cincinnati Regatta. In 1982, Yale outrode 3 other teams at the first Cincinnati Regatta. The winner is awarded the Hershey Cup, and its history has Harvard winning it twice in '83 and '85. Last year, Wisconsin surprised the rowing world and won the coveted trophy. Now let's get back to the 1987 race for the Hershey Cup.
It has undeniably become a 3-craft race. 3 boats are in this race. Brown University in the middle in lane 3. In lane 4, it is Harvard University, and of course University of Wisconsin on the outside. And I'll tell you, they're all nose and nose. There isn't a deck separating them at this point in time. Falling back now about, there's some open water there of about a half a length separating then the University of, I believe that's Temple and UCLA. And we have a stroke time. Buffalo's going down there. By Harvard. Harvard is moving with Brown now. Those 2 crews are moving on the rest of the field. Wisconsin falling back ever so slightly now, but Brown is still, every stroke, just able to get their bow out a little bit ahead of that Harvard boat. Just a little bit, maybe a foot or 2 feet, that boat. If you had an opportunity to make a judgment, who would you say is going to finish first? I'm not picking anybody right now. I am not picking anybody right now.
Harvard and Brown seem primed to make this 6th annual regatta one of the best. We'll rejoin it, but first, rowing is also popular for the women, except for this Minnesota crew that just arrived late to the start line for their race and have been disqualified. The race was to be a match of 2 of the top U.S. women's collegiate teams, Minnesota and Wisconsin. The Badgers of Wisconsin were not late. As a matter of fact, they upset the British team on a world-class time of 6 minutes, 25 3/10 seconds. Harsha Lake is an easy and pleasant drive from the University of Cincinnati. The university is well represented in the collegiate championships at the regatta. This young lady in her Bearcat makeup is the strong-voiced coxswain for the men's lightweight 4s. Their competition for the championship in this category was Central Florida and in-state rival Ohio State. The University of Cincinnati team was in top form and won in a time of 6 minutes, 49 61 100 seconds. Ohio State finished a distant 3rd to the delight of the Bearcats. Now let's get back to the final 500 meters of the men's Varsity 8.
This is really, Harvard and Brown are going down here stroke for stroke. Harvard going just a little bit higher than Brown, but they are, I would say, just about even. Brown, maybe a small margin ahead, but all right, a foot at any time. No more than a foot at any time, and we have reached the 500-meter mark in the final 500 of the men's collegiate Varsity 8. This has been the most exciting race of the day by far. The front runners, less than a couple of feet apart. I'm sure your television cameras will pretty much agree with us. And we're now coming into about 300 to 400 meters to go. And at this point in time, Harvard and Brown neck and neck. I'm going to turn it over to you, Phil Sapp. Take it over from the bench.
It'll be
be an exciting final 300 meters. Brown and Harvard, tip to tip. They are very, very close. Rowing at about 36 strokes a minute. Both of them there just matching strength against strength. UCLA is in lane 2. Wisconsin is on the outside, Temple in lane 1. But it is Brown and Harvard in lanes 3 and 4. Coming to the finish line now with about 100 meters to go. National championship of collegiate rowing is at stake right here in about 50 meters. Harvard appeared to edge Brown by just a matter of a few feet. What a tremendous race, ladies and gentlemen. For the last 1,000 meters, Harvard and Brown were just nose to nose. The race is still unofficial, but the time for the Harvard crew crossing the line first. A new record for this East Fork Regatta, smashing the old record by some 8 or 9 seconds. 5 minutes, 35 and 1,700 seconds. The crowd on the beach just witnessed one of the most exciting races from start to finish in the 6-year history of the Cincinnati Regatta. As the team steps onto the dock, Harry Parker, Harvard's top rowing coach, found this victory to be the sweetest of the 3 national championships his Harvard teams have now won. Today, they were not a pre-race favorite to avenge last year's upset loss to 1986 champion Wisconsin, but avenge they did. Most of the crowd was stationed at the finish line, but were able to view the entire race via closed-circuit TV coverage for the first time in regatta history. In 1988, the National Collegiate Championships, plus some Olympic trials for rowing, will be a part of the Cincinnati Regatta. It'll be a major rowing event. The flag is up and we have the start of the race. This is the men's collegiate pair without coxswain. Harvard B, University of Cincinnati A, Harvard A, and the University of Cincinnati B. They are in lanes 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, it's important that we pace the leader.
In the early stages, the first 500 meters of the race, the Harvard University A boat has just taken the lead over a UC boat. The leader right now is the Harvard A boat by just a few feet over the Harvard B boat. The University of Cincinnati A boat is just a couple of feet behind in third place. Looks like they're pulling away a little bit. The Harvard A boat has pulled out to a little bigger lead now. Looks like about a full boat. The Harvard B boat is second, with a lead of maybe a third of a boat over the University of Cincinnati A boat. The Harvard B boat has quickened their stroke just a bit and is now gaining a little water on the Harvard A boat. The Shells are now at the 1,000 meter mark, halfway through this race. The order of votes right now is Harvard A, Harvard B, University of Cincinnati A, and Cincinnati B. The Harvard B boat has been moving up a little bit on the Harvard A boat and now trails by about half a length. The lead boat, Harvard A, rowing at 36 strokes a minute at the moment. The Harvard B boat continues to creep up on the Harvard A boat. The Harvard B boat has now moved slightly in front of Harvard A. Probably about 800 meters to go in the race. Yeah, okay. The Harvard B boat still has a slight lead over Harvard A. University of Cincinnati A is third, followed by Cincinnati B. The Harvard B boat beginning to put a little more room between it and the A boat. Harvard B now has a full boat lead over Harvard A and just continues to pull away. They are approaching the 500-meter mark. The Harvard B boat now has a lead of about a length and a quarter to a boat length and a half over Harvard A. The Harvard B boat is in lane 2, closest to shore. I think I better. They'll be. The University of Cincinnati B boat has dropped out of the race. Just 3 shells remain in the race. The Harvard B boat in lane 2 is quite far ahead. The University of Cincinnati is in lane 3 in third place, and the Harvard University A boat on the outside lane, lane 4, is second. University B boat with a length about 2 to 2.5 lengths lead, perhaps as much as 3. Far out in front, the Harvard A boat second in the outside lane, lane 5. The University of Cincinnati A boat in third place in lane 3.
Yeah, we're there. There are people all over in the water here, so we're going to be cutting short.
With about 100 meters to go, the Harvard University B boat is going to be a very easy winner. And on the outside, the Harvard A boat will finish second. University of Cincinnati A boat will be third. The Harvard B shell just crossing the finish line, a very easy winner by perhaps 3 lengths over the Harvard A boat, just approaching the finish line in lane 5. The University of Cincinnati A boat about a length and a half behind. So the race for men's collegiate pair without coxswain won by the Harvard University B boat. Harvard University's A boat was second. The University of Cincinnati's A boat was third. It is not official yet. To the awards area. Apparently will stay in the same order, and the men's collegiate 4 should be starting rather shortly as the boat bringing the oar is up near the starting line right now. Okay, you want to open my... Now the start of the race will be in 5 minutes. The race will start in 5 minutes, the men's collegiate 4. Again, the starting order in lane 1, which is closest to the beach, will be Brown University. Harvard University will be in lane 2, Northeastern in lane 3, UCLA in lane 4, the University of Cincinnati in lane 5, Wisconsin will be in lane 6, and Michigan will be in lane 7. That is the men's collegiate 4, starting now in a little over 4 minutes. Fran, I'm Phil. The George Washington University boat was scratched, so this is a one-shell 2,000-meter run. Ohio State University is the only shell, I can't call it a race, but they must maintain racing speed, and they must cross the finish line to be declared the winner. It was just a matter of
They're second. Again, in this race, the women's lightweight 4, the George Washington University shell was nowhere to be seen, so Ohio State University is the only shell in this race. They must come at racing speed. They must cross the finish line to be declared the winner. Ohio State women's lightweight 4. In the bow is Wendy Fleming. The number 2 position is Gail Stennett. Mary Good is number 3. The stroke is Janice Adams. The coxswain is Christine Zawadzki. I think. The lone shell in the race, the Ohio State University boat, is now at about the 1,000 meter mark, just about halfway through the course. The men's collegiate 4 race, which was dropped in order because of the broken paddle suffered by a University of Cincinnati crew member, that race will be starting very shortly after the Ohio State women cross the finish line. All those shells are right up at the starting line and will be ready to go very shortly after the Ohio State women cross the finish line. Now just under 500 meters to go. They have just started the men's collegiate 4 race. As we just found out, the starting flag just dropped, and that race is underway before the Ohio State women cross the finish line. So again, in the men's collegiate 4, lane 1, closest to the beach, will be Brown University. Harvard is in lane 2, Northeastern in lane 3, UCLA in lane 4, Cincinnati is in lane 5, Wisconsin in lane 6. On the outside, in lane 7, is Michigan. What do we got there, Kenny? Race. Northeastern has a very slight lead over UCLA. And in lane 1, Brown University is third. So right now it is Northeastern, UCLA, and Brown, but very, very close. Wisconsin is fourth. From this angle, it looks as though those two boats are about bow to bow, are they? .500 meters of the race. They're about bow to bow now. Northeastern and UCLA. Brown in third and Wisconsin in fourth. Harvard University, racing in lane 2, was the winner of the San Diego Crew Classic earlier this year. But a very tight race thus far. Harvard, the winner of that San Diego Crew Classic, is in 5th place right now. Again, it is Northeastern and UCLA dueling for the lead. Brown is 3rd, Wisconsin 4th, Harvard 5th. Oh, they are pulling them. The Wisconsin crew has moved up and is now in 2nd place behind Northeastern. So it is Northeastern, Wisconsin, UCLA, and Brown. They're at about the 1,000 meter mark, about half the race to go. Northeastern looks as though they upped their stroke beat and pulled away and has a little bit of a lead right now. As they're inside of 1,000 meters to go, it's a 2-boat race right at the moment between Northeastern and Wisconsin as they put a little daylight between themselves and the other shells.
Okay, pace 1.
Brown now making a move in lane 1. Brown has moved into 2nd place ahead of Wisconsin. And rowing very, very strongly in lane 1 is Brown. Brown is at 35. Rowing at 35 strokes a minute. Very, very fast pace for Brown. Northeastern, Brown, and Wisconsin at the moment. They are approaching the 500 meter mark. Brown rowing at 35 in lane 1, Northeastern rowing at 33 strokes a minute. UCLA still holding on to a slight lead, with Brown and Wisconsin very close for the number 2 spot. And Harvard has slipped back a bit, as has Northeastern. Less than 500 meters to go. As you can see, it is a 3-boat race in lane number 3, Northeastern University. Wisconsin in lane 6 is second. Brown in lane 1 is third. Brown has just moved into second place, and Wisconsin has just upped its strokes to 36 a minute now on the outside, lane 6. Northeastern, Brown, Wisconsin, as they have perhaps 70 or 80 meters to the finish line. Very, very close as they come to the finish line. Northeastern with a slight lead, and the winner will be Northeastern. Very, very close between Brown and Wisconsin for second. All right, Brown did finish second, so the order of finish unofficially: Northeastern, Brown, and Wisconsin. Northeastern crossed the finish line with a few feet to spare. Brown probably beat out Wisconsin. It looked like a foot, if not a matter of some inches. Replay just shown for the people who have monitors. You could see Northeastern's margin, and Brown by perhaps a foot, maybe just a little bit more over Wisconsin. So again, the unofficial order of finish: the men's collegiate 4, Northeastern first, Brown second, Wisconsin third.